It was supposed to be a year-ending holiday triumph.
We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible.
The U.S. economy, said Trump, was the strongest ever.
There has never, frankly, been anything like it.
But Barron's headline, U.S. manufacturing hit 2025 bottom in December. Quote, U.S. manufacturing activity contracted for a 10th straight month in December, a survey indicated Monday, pointing to a continued drag in sentiment from tariffs and trade policy uncertainty.
And unfortunately, this is unhappy New Year. This is December. The ISM manufacturing folks reporting that the index falls to 47.9 from 48.2. That is definitely not good news.
And here's how the news was handled on Bloomberg's Breaking Money Minute.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. U.S. manufacturing activity shrank in December by the most since 2024. The Institute for Supply Management says orders were so tepid that factory owners drew down their own inventories of raw materials, relying on existing stockpiles to meet demand.
When the demand is so low, you are drawing just on your own stockpiles. That's bad. Here was the reporting on CNBC.
These are ISM manufacturing, and it's for December. Expecting a number under 50, around 48.5, comes in light, 47.9. So this would be what, the 10th consecutive read under 50. Only the first 2 months of the year were above 50.
Translation, only January and February 2025, the first 2 months of Trump's latest term, saw manufacturing increases. The last 10 months have shown manufacturing contractions or declines every month. Oops. And it makes this Trump claim even more absurd.
1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Not only is the United States not the hottest in the world economically or in terms of manufacturing, U.S. industrial output is getting smaller. It's a sharp reversal from President Joe Biden. During the Biden administration, manufacturing output climbed to record levels. Investment poured into factories, supply chains stabilized following the COVID hurdles, and the dull, unglamorous business of making things regained a measure of dignity. The boost in U.S. manufacturing was achieved not with chest-thumping speeches or tariff tantrums, but with policies designed for the real world. Predictability, infrastructure, and a government that did not wake up each morning looking for a trade war to fight. Then came Donald Trump 2.0, and with it, the old chaos. Donald Trump waved tariffs like magic wands, treated certainty as weakness, and reduced economic policy to a series of impulsive threats thrown at allies and rivals alike. And Trump is still doing it.
Tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers.
Actually, they are not coming to the United States in record numbers. And even with a few companies pledging to build new factories in the United States, the overall result under Donald Trump has been a manufacturing sector retreat.
In the regional numbers that have come out, that companies have been saying that we are still facing problems with uncertainty about what's going to happen with the overall economy. And
I feel like, Mike, isn't it fair to say that we always have a certain amount of uncertainty with? I've been doing this job for 26 years now.
Yeah, but okay, it's worse.
And
right?
the one mantra that has continued unabated is uncertainty.
Yeah, but I mean, how often have you lived through periods where you've just gotten months of no official U.S. data?
And we've still got uncertainty going forward because we don't know if the tariffs are going to be ruled legal or not and what happens from here with Venezuela.
Bloomberg's Mike McKee mentioned we do not know if the tariffs are going to be ruled legal or not. That's a reference to a case at the U.S. Supreme Court as to whether Donald Trump exceeded his tariff authority. If the court rules against the Trump administration, not only would that stop the tariffs, but the court could force the Trump administration to pay back the tariff revenue already collected. Talk about a mess. Meanwhile, the comparison to the smooth, productive sailing of the Biden administration lingers. And again, manufacturing did not boom under Biden because he insulted trading partners or slapped tariffs on impulse. Manufacturing grew to record levels in the Biden administration because companies believe the future would resemble the present closely enough to justify investment. Confidence, not bravado, did the heavy lifting. But listen to how companies are describing the landscape now under Donald Trump.
Here's an easy, simple quote from a company in here in the machinery business. Trough conditions continue. Depressed business activity, some seasonal, but largely impacted by customer issues due to interest rates, tariffs, low oil commodity pricing, and limited housing starts. So if that's summing up the way American manufacturers feel, it doesn't suggest that we're going to see any kind of major turnaround in the factory sector anytime soon.
Trump defenders keep insisting that the pain is temporary. They insist the economic and manufacturing contractions have been a necessary sacrifice on the altar of future greatness.
I think that we're already right on the cusp of having the greatest economy that the U.S. has ever seen. I think that Trump policies are about as good as it gets.
President Trump last week gave his economy a grade of A++++. What grade would you give the economy today?
A+++.
The absurdities with this crowd never end. And the argument that we are on the cusp of untold riches is the same argument made by every economic quack throughout the industrial age. They insist that if we just endure the harm now, the miracle will arrive later. Well, manufacturers, being practical and rational people, are not buying it. So what we are left with in America under Trump is a familiar pattern. Loud promises, thin results, and an insistence that reality is wrong rather than policy. Let's be clear. Manufacturing in America is declining not because of a lack of patriotism. Manufacturing is declining because of Trump and his inability or refusal to grasp the basics. Modern industry is built on cooperation, predictability, and trust, not haphazard tariffs and wild Trump delusions. By the way, Donald Trump is tanking the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts as artists and audiences flee.
A very big hello and welcome.
The president served as master of ceremonies at the Kennedy Center Honors. But headline, Kennedy Center Honors ratings tank like never before thanks to Trump. Donald Trump's takeover of the historic institution has effectively killed its popularity.
A dance company is now the latest group of performers to pull out of a show at the Trump Kennedy Center after the president put his name on the front of the building.
You've got more artists now pulling out of scheduled events.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Corgi, who wrote, "Want to bankrupt it? Put Trump's name on it." Indeed. I look forward to reading your comments about Donald Trump putting his mark on the U.S. economy and sinking American manufacturing. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.